This could be the real deal, boys. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Reggie and Jerome podcast. I am your co-host, Big D. I'm sitting here with my boys, my partners, Big J.A.
How you doing, everybody?
My man, Sammy C. What it do, boy?
What's up, man? Let's go.
I am so excited to be doing this. I still don't really realize that I'm doing it and how the fuck I'm doing it because y'all convinced me to do it. But I'm glad we're doing it, and I'm glad I'm doing it with you guys. First things first, how did this come about?
Man, I don't know. We were just watching the Eagles games all the time together every Sunday, and we just kept talking about it. And hey, here we are.
So was it you or was it Joey who came up with this idea? I think it was Joey.
I think it was Joey.
Yeah, I think it was Joey, right?
Yeah.
I would just turn around. Hey, D-Rob, that should be on the podcast.
Yeah, you did say that shit a lot. I remember you saying that shit a lot.
And then here we are.
So we got to give a little bit of a backstory. That's part of the backstory. The other part of the backstory is that we watch the games every Sunday together. Sometimes 3 of us, sometimes 5 of us, sometimes 10 of us. The stragglers usually come on in the playoffs, when it's happy and go time, but they ain't there in November in the winter when it's just a few of us.
Yeah, exactly.
watching us beat the Giants by 3 touchdowns. But that is the backstory, and the genesis of this backstory is one guy, and we have to mention him. He is the unofficial 4th member of this podcast, who will probably never be on here. Only because we don't know what the hell he's going to say. And that's, we got to give a shout out to Big Nelson.
Yes,
because without him, we probably wouldn't be doing this. And he makes sure, he really makes sure that we are always together when we do this. So we definitely got to give a shout out.
Shout out to Big Nelson.
Shout out Nelson.
We weren't together for the Super Bowl. I was sick. I had the flu, and I felt shitty about it, but I had the flu, so it wasn't nothing I could do. So as such, we have never had a chance to celebrate the Super Bowl together.
No.
What we normally do before every game touchdown is we take a shot.
That's for sure.
This is Bird Gang Whiskey, world champion Bird Gang Whiskey. We're going to take a shot of this before we start. Now, Bird Gang, if y'all out there and y'all want to sponsor us, feel free, because I'm not doing this shit again for free. This one for you, Sammy.
Thank you, sir.
Joey, that's you, my man.
You.
And one for me. We're not going to tell you what time we're doing this, but this is in the morning, so this is probably the earliest I've ever had a shot, but
Amen.
This goes to our birds, and this goes out to us.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Woo.
That'll wake you up.
Absolutely.
Let's get this thing going.
We hadn't had a chance to even talk about the season itself. And part of that is, obviously, we know what happened. They won the Super Bowl. They had a great season. So I did want to talk about that a little bit before we get into why we came here, which is to talk about the draft picks of the 2025 Eagles. But I wanted to ask you guys about the season, and when did you think, or when did you know the Eagles were going to be good?
I think everybody uses this as a highlight point. But when Saquon leaped over that man backwards, I knew we had something special going.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Let's see. That defense, man. That defense. Few of the games when they were just on it. They were on it. Interceptions here, interceptions there. Even with the Jaguars game, we can talk about that. With Saquon doing that, they stopped the Jaguars, and it's just like, I just knew we had a special team. We had a special team right off the bat, and they just played as a group.
I agree. Those are 2 definite junctures in the season that I can remember thinking like, oh shit, like they're really good. For me, what got me was the 2 weeks of Rams-Ravens. When they went to L.A., flew across country and beat the Rams, then they had to come back and beat the Ravens. 2 playoff teams, 2 good teams. When I saw that, I said, shit, like, yo, they good.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of teams are doing that. Like, it's very, very hard to beat teams across the country, period, much less 2 playoff teams. So for me, that's when it was. I realized that I thought to myself, I said, damn, like, all right, I think they got a shot.
Yeah.
When did you think they were going to win the bowl? Mine's is a weird one. I'll tell you what it was, but I want you to tell me when yours was.
Mine's weird though, and I was in Cancun watching
Don't get much weirder than that, but go ahead.
the Eagles Dallas game,
Okay.
and we gave them an ass whooping. And you could just see in that game they just played together. I'm pretty sure Kenny Pickett came in that game, but it was weird. We were just dominant, and I was like, I think we're going to the Super Bowl. I didn't even need to get to the playoffs yet. I had that faith in the Eagles and the team that they had. So I was rocking with them right then.
I don't remember what week that was, but I remember you being in Cancun because we didn't watch the game together. So that was,
I think they won 42-13, maybe something like that.
I mean, Dallas was horrible, but
Yeah.
I feel you though.
Yeah,
I definitely feel you.
You see a team play like that, and that wasn't the only week that they just played dominant like that. I was ready to go, man. I was when they got close to the end of the season, I was like, all right, come on, let's get this playoff.
That's when you said, okay, they're going to win the bowl.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
What about you, Joey?
It was a lot later than that. After we faced the Rams, faced the Ravens, I kind of had that feeling that the Rams was going to be the toughest opponent we were going to face, and then I knew we were going to face them in the playoffs. The moment that clock hit 0, I said, let's wrap it up.
Oh, shit. My man said, let's wrap it up. Oh, okay.
I mean, you saw what we did to the Commanders.
Yeah.
Even in the regular season, they only beat us, and that's because Jay Hurts got hurt.
True that.
And it took a last-minute play for them to even come back and win. So,
yeah.
Definitely after that Rams playoff game, I said, it's over.
Yeah. For me, like I said, it's a weird one for me. It was in the Redskins game when I believe it was the second quarter. They threw a touchdown to A.J. Brown.
The
playoff game. They threw a touchdown to A.J. Brown, and it was I think they were at the 6 or 7 yard line, and it was maybe it was just an out route, and he scored a touchdown. I think it was in the second quarter. You remember?
So yeah.
Yep. The reason why that play stood out to me is because I don't know if obviously you guys watched the combine before, but that throw is the throw that they have at the combine all the time. 5 yard out, 5 yard out. They throw it all the time. And when Jalen Hurts made that throw, I said, oh yeah, he can make any throw. And then when I seen him make that throw, I was like, yeah, I don't think anybody can beat us. And obviously, it turned out to be the case. But like I said, it was weird for me. And that was when I realized, I was like, all right, they got this. And then, again, I was sick during the Super Bowl. But when I'm watching it, it even looked like it then. It was so glaring that they were so much better.
Yeah. And you say them throws. I mean, how about the throw to Devontae Smith?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
my God.
Every time. It was just
every day.
It was a beautiful throw.
It is almost illegal how many times I've watched that throw. I'm sure we've all watched it so many times.
It comes across my Twitter feed every time.
Oh,
and I will watch it every time.
I think it's going to be ubiquitous with him and them forever. Like they're always going to mention that when they mention him and the Eagles, and probably Jalen too. They're probably going to mention that throw. So yeah, I definitely feel like that's when I knew they were going to win. And as such, we also have to talk about where do you think this team ranks as far as Eagles teams? Obviously, they're pretty high. But since we 4 for 4 guys talk about all Philly sports, where do you think that they rank as far as the Eagles, the Philadelphia team Mount Rushmore. So you know who the choices pretty much are, right? So obviously you got the 2 Super Bowl teams. All right. We're just going to do it in the past 25 years. We got the 2 Super Bowl teams. We got the 08 Phils. And I think the 09 Phils were better than the 08 Phils. They just didn't pull it off.
Exactly. They went back-to-back years.
Yeah. So as far as teams are concerned, where do you think that they rank?
Man,
It's tough, right?
it is. It's very tough. It's very tough.
I know, that's why I asked it. I asked good
I
questions.
don't know. You do. You do. I would say, this team, this probably number 1, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. It's just totally different, right? You seen the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl that we won, right? We had a backup QB, which amazing starter though. He came in that role, Nick Foles. Shout out to him. But this team, this past year, they played together hard. And the pickups that we even had last year. Jahan Dotson really didn't catch the ball that much, but he came up big in the Super Bowl. Scored a touchdown, Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saquon, he's just an animal, man. Animal, But you could tell that they just played all together. The defense, Vic Fangio, his defense, just totally different defense than, the past years, I would say, Yeah.
You got a 1?
Well, I got a 1, man.
What about you, Joey? Where you got him at?
It's tough. I'm baseball runs through my
we know.
It's heavy.
We know.
To me, as much as it's gonna pain me to say it, they are number 1.
What?
They are.
Wow.
They have.
I wasn't
expecting that either.
Just a tick over that team, man. Love my Phils, but to put a roster like this together, and you could just on paper, just total domination, and then to prove it on the biggest stage, man, you really can't get any better than that. That Super Bowl is probably going to be the one that's most remembered Philadelphia sports championship wise.
I
agree, and I begrudgingly lean to that as well. I have a fondness for the 08 Phils because it was kind of like the genesis of my son playing baseball was that 08 Phils team. Wasn't for that, if the Flyers had one, he might be a fucking left winger for the Flyers. Who knows? But that team has a special place in my heart as well. But this team was dominant, man.
Yeah.
They were so dominant. And, there's only been a handful of teams who have ever won 18 games. Even with the extra game that they have, it's really fucking hard. And I think, if Jalen don't get hurt in that Redskins game, Commanders game. Fuck it, they still the Redskins to me. That Commanders game, they win 19 games. They weren't going to beat them that day.
No.
You know what I mean?
They would have.
Huh?
They would have.
Who would have?
The Eagles.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, they definitely would have.
Yeah, I'm saying, Washington wouldn't have beat them that day. They had gotten off to such a hot start. They wouldn't have beat them.
And our joke, sorry to cut you off real quick, Kenny Two Gloves came in.
Oh, Kenny. Shout out to Kenny.
Shout out to Kenny. That was the joke. That was the running joke all year.
We thought Kenny was going to come in and pull it out. In his defense, though, he ain't played terrible in that game.
No, he really didn't.
He ain't played terrible. He just ain't do enough. And I don't remember who we had in the back end that day. It might have been Joey's boy, CJ, who let that touchdown in the last couple seconds. But, I'm not going to knock CJ. He was great for us. He helped us, win a ball, obviously.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah. And we definitely going to get to that when we get to the picks because, that's something that we may miss this year. So hopefully we have somebody to fill in this spot. But, again, I do have this team number 1. And I think we should let Saquon say what he thought.
I firmly believe when you look at our team that we had last year, I think we're a top 5 team of all time. And I tell my boys this all the time. Like, if you really look at the season outside of the first 4 games, like, it was belt to ass. How dominant you guys were on defense and how dominant we were on offense and special teams. People don't realize how great of a team that actually was.
We were working together.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have training camp, but, like, it's kind of different when it's just in game.
You're in the
like how your coach really is. Like, how's he calling the game? Like, getting used to that and kind of getting used to the guys you play with. But after the bye week,
I think we just all bought in.
We just bought in.
I think we all just bought in, and like you hear like the outside noise and expectation. Like, we didn't care how it looked. Only thing we cared about was winning a football game. And when you have the talent, skill that we have in our team mixed with the coaches, we all play together like how we played. Like, teams really stood no chance.
Couldn't say it better myself.
Yep.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Now it's our turn to talk about the key departures that have left our Eagles. And we had quite a few leave. I'll just, run down most of them. We got Milton Williams. He left. Huge part of our Super Bowl run, he left. Darius Slay, fan favorite.
Yeah, man.
He's gone.
Play Slay.
Josh Sweat also played really well. Actually for a couple years, Josh Sweat played well.
Yeah.
And he was also, I think it helped that Kansas City couldn't block me in my prime. But yeah, he was huge in the playoffs. Sammy C's favorite player, Kenny Pickett, is gone.
Down the road.
2 gloves is out of here.
Man.
Super Bowl champ, 2 gloves.
Super Bowl champ, 2 gloves. Joey's favorite player, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, is gone.
Dog.
He was your boy, and he was a good player. I can't take that from him. Little yappy, but sometimes you need yappy in the NFL. And I hope we have some yappy somewhere, because we lost 2 shit talkers this year. The other one is obviously Brandon Graham. And he was the heart of the Eagles in several years. He was so consistent, played so good, played hurt. A buddy of mine, when he got drafted, told me, because he was a Titans fan, and they drafted this guy named Derek Morgan. And they drafted him right before Brandon. He was like, "Yeah, we got the best defensive end in the draft." Like, I was like, "Word, okay. Derek Morgan's good." He was good for 3 years. BG.
Yeah, BG.
BG has been that dude for a minute, so shout out to BG. We also lost Mekhi Becton. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Mekhi Becton thing.
Me too.
I know Jeff Stoutland is a wizard.
Yeah.
To say
the least. And he's done some things that I didn't think were possible with some players. He's gotten players paid, the Ciamalos, and he's gotten a lot of guys paid. I just don't know if, as good as Becton was, if he can be replaced. I could be wrong. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, because we need someone to replace him.
I think we got somebody, man.
Yeah, you think so?
I think we have somebody cooking.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
But
All right. Well, I hope you're right.
we'll see.
I put my faith in.
I put my faith into it. The other 2 notable departures, or somewhat notable, Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah.
He played well.
Shout out Isaiah Rodgers at the Super Bowl parade.
Yeah. I was sick. What happened at the Super Bowl parade? What did you do? I missed it.
I was right there. And
Oh, you were there?
gave me a beer. I chugged it with him.
What?
Oh yeah, I got it on video and everything. Joey was right next.
Man.
Front row, man.
I dapped up Saquon, the
Yeah.
coach.
Oh yeah.
Man.
All those.
I didn't see Kenny two gloves though, man. I think he was on the bus still.
I never heard this story.
Yeah.
And with that, this is the end of the Reggie and Jerome podcast, because these motherfuckers did some shit. Nah, that's what's up, dude. That's what's up. Yeah, he was better than serviceable. Like, you never thought he was gonna go out there and really mess up. You know what I mean? He was just solid.
Yeah,
You
he
know?
was solid. I mean, when, Darius Slay went down a few times, he was always right there and jumping right back in, jumping right in Slay's spot. I mean, hey.
I actually wanted to keep him if it was going to make sense.
I agree.
He went to Minnesota and he got his bag, so shout out to him.
Yeah.
He did. He most certainly got a bag. That's
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
did.
All these guys got paid.
Yeah.
But that's the price of doing business when you win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody comes after your guys, and you can't keep everybody. They lost more than most, but it happens. to
That
everybody,
happens.
You know what I
That's the
mean?
name of the game.
So,
Football, man.
Even with losing all those players, we still got a solid core.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Solid.
I still think we're the team to beat. Don't get it effed up. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think we still, there because the guys that we had, the guys that we have now, another year of experience, games under the belt. We're going to obviously get to the draft, but shout out to Howie Roseman, man. Like,
I agree.
they built depth on the offensive line, the defensive line, playmakers. Like, you really can't script it the way any better than how they built this team. So, although we lost these guys, I'm certain that we're going to be fine. Yeah, we're a very good team, and I can't see any reason why we're not making another run.
I agree.
Yeah. So
Who's if you had to pick somebody, who do you think? Who's your one that you would like to keep? What do you think?
out of those guys,
Out of those guys, respectfully, because they played in the Super Bowl, who would you have liked to keep?
Mekhi Becton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's.
We know Joey's answer.
Yeah. No, I still want to have it. Maybe that's a different answer. I don't know. I still want to have his answer. But yeah, Mekhi Becton, because I just think that he was former first round pick, flamed out. He got right with us and Jeff Stoutland.
Yeah.
I think that once you have an offensive lineman, just think about it. We've had some great ones, and they don't go anywhere.
Exactly.
You can pencil these guys in for 10 years if you got a good one.
Look at Jason Kelsey, man.
Yeah,
Lane
Lane Johnson.
Lane Johnson, look, he's still
You know
there.
what I mean?
Jordan Mailata.
Yeah, Jordan.
Mailata ain't going nowhere.
No.
Oh. That's why those guys get paid. They get paid early because it is difficult
Yeah.
to find
Yeah.
really, really good offensive linemen. So for me, he was the one. So for you? Oh, for Joey?
I mean, I love CJ. He did have some shortcomings, but the answer is Mekhi Becton. The most important thing to do is protect your quarterback. And, with a guy like that, he played his behind off. To find somebody who's going to replace that at the same level, we'll see if Jeff Stoutland's cooking something up, but to me, that was a guy you had to keep. Him next to Lane, they were a powerhouse that nobody could get their way through.
Agreed.
Man,
Tammy C?
y'all said it.
Yeah?
Yep, the same one. You know why? You watched last year, and the amount of Mekhi Becton wasn't the best, I would say, until he came to Philly. And the coaches, I told you, them coaches are crazy.
They
And
get you to believe,
they
man.
get you to believe that you have the power and the ability to, to do what they do. And honestly, I was hoping to see the same offensive line that we had in the Super Bowl, but
Consistency is really
consistency,
big. Yeah.
So that's why I would have had to pick Mekhi Becton also. So
Yeah, looks like that we're going around the horn on that one.
yeah,
But like you said, we'll see what happens. Jeff really hasn't let us down very
No.
much.
no,
You had Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen step in when Becton went to the sidelines at times.
Tyler Steen, I forgot that name. Wow.
They stepped in and they played well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I think big part of that is believing in your coach and believing in yourself, and looks like that Stoutland definitely has those guys in the right mindset.
yeah.
Agreed. So we talked about the departures. Now we have to talk about the draft.
Oh, real fast before we jump into that.
Oh, go ahead.
Milton Williams was played outstanding. But I do think we're not going to miss him as much as we think. Another guy that stepped in a lot last year was Moro Jomo.
I agree with you. I'm glad you brought this up.
Yep.
He, I can't remember the numbers off my head, but he was damn near unstoppable in that Super Bowl, and at times when he stepped in, just pancaking offensive behinds and getting to the quarterback.
Joey, you hit that one out the park, my man, because, I watch all 22s, because I'm a fucking weirdo with this shit. So I watch all 22 film footage and all kind of shit. And I'll be honest with you, man, if you really watch a lot of the games, he couldn't be handled, bro. He just didn't have a chance to play as much in the rotation, but
it's a guy who had nothing to lose. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was a 7th round draft pick.
Might have been.
I think so.
When you're drafted there and you make the team, go ape shit. Go balls to the wall. What's the worst thing that could happen?
You win the Super Bowl. That's the worst thing that can happen. Yeah, I agree. I think as far as guys on the roster already that will step in, I do believe that Milton Williams will be. His loss will be not as significant as people think. And that's also a credit to the depth we talked about earlier. Like, they draft for depth. And the Eagles have always tried to do that, but it seems like in the past few years, they've gotten really, really good at it. Guy leaves, they replace him. They sign a guy a year early rather than a year late. The only misstep that they've actually had, like big one, Huff.
Yeah. Damn.
I know it's crazy, right? Sometimes we forget he's even on the team because we talk about, we lost this guy, we lost that guy, but we gave this guy $50 million.
Yeah, we did.
And a lot of it is guaranteed. There's a reason why they can't move him or touch him or anything like that. So I think as far as missteps, that's probably the only one. But as far as drafting is concerned, we always say it in How Will You Trust. So
yeah,
we got to just roll out.
Clarify, you are right. 7th round pick. That's what he was. He's only 23 years old, man.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. So, listen, he's going to step up, man. He's going to step up. I like it. I can't wait.
Well, as such, they normally try to draft people to step in for people that have left, retired, or whatever the case may be. And we're going to take a real short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the draft picks.
All right.
And we're back. We are back to talk about one of the main reasons why we came here, which is the 2025 draft. Now, we spoke previously about having trust in Howie Roseman. He has not disappointed us very often in the past few years. So with that being said, going into the draft as a Super Bowl champion, you pick last. So that's the benefit of being a Super Bowl champion. And you can still find plenty of great to good players when you pick last. Teams have been doing that for years. Just most recently, the Chiefs have done it. Like, you just have to make it work when you pick last. Even though it turns out they didn't pick last, I'm still wrapping my head around moving up one spot with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
but
with the Chiefs.
I think Howie was just like antsy or some shit. He was just like, I got to do something,
Yeah.
I did see some of the video of him trying to trade. I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Chargers.
Chargers at 22, I think.
Yeah.
23.
They basically just said, we don't want to fuck with you, Howie. Like, you got some shit going on here.
Listen, you see that area code come up?
That's exactly right.
Hell yeah.
No, you're going to lose that deal.
My man is loved and feared. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. So they had the 32nd pick. They moved up, took the 31st pick. And with that pick, they took Jahad Campbell, a player that I know pretty well. I saw him play in high school. I was telling somebody, I might have been telling one of you guys, I saw him play, and I think he was a sophomore, and I saw him play, and he just looked like the best player on the field, which is nothing uncommon when you're that good in high school. The only thing, I'll tell a sidebar story that has to do with somebody who was another first-round pick that I noticed that with. And that is about a couple of years ago,
No, I apologize. I don't even know where that came from.
Shout out to Sammy having a concert while we're doing a podcast.
Added a little bit of ambiance.
That's all good. I ain't mad at you. But anyway, back to my story. So I'll tell you a quick story about another first round pick. I was in Orlando. I want to say it was like 9-10 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I'm down there working. I come back. I'm with my cousin. I come back, and he calls me at 9:00 at night on a Friday. He was like, "Yo, you have to get down here. I just saw the best football player ever." And I said, "Are you at a college? Where are you at?" He was like, "I'm at a high school game. I just saw the best football player." I'm like, you putting a lot on this for a football player." He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "The best football player I've ever seen." I was like, "Okay." I didn't think anything of it. Week goes by. Next Friday, he calls me and tells me this shit again. He's like, "This kid is incredible. You have to see him." I said, "I'll be down there in a few weeks. I'll see him." I go down there and I watch. I can't remember the name of the high school. I'm sure I'll remember it after this. It was right outside I want to say it was right outside of Jacksonville somewhere. I go to this high school game and I saw the largest sophomore I've ever seen in my life. And he had 279 yards rushing in the first quarter.
Whoa.
He had 7 sacks in the first half. He returned 3 kicks for touchdowns. So when my cousin's telling me this, I'm like, you might be right. This is the most incredible shit I've ever seen.
That's some stats right there in the game.
He 300 rushing in the
first quarter. He still has the high school record for most rushing yards in a season. It was Derrick Henry. Explains a lot, right?
It explains it.
So when I go to high school games, every kid I compare with this was like, "Well, yo, you ain't Derrick Henry." Like, you know what I mean? But Jahad Campbell, when I saw him as a high schooler, he was really good. He did everything too. He didn't do no shit like that, but he did do everything well. So they pick him up, local kid, Timber Creek. Yeah, he's actually younger than I thought. He's only 21 years old.
Yeah. He is.
Which usually guys, especially nowadays, with NIL and reclassifying and all this shit, like there's some 24-year-old seniors out there in college football. But they got him with the 31st pick. At first I didn't really love the pick. I seen him play only because I didn't love the pick. The only reason why I didn't love the pick is because the only game I saw him play, he wasn't great in the game I saw him play. And that was the LSU game. The reason why he wasn't great is because he was going against a guy that was drafted 4th in the same draft, Will Campbell. And that dude is a monster. And I was telling for a reason. Yeah, I was telling Sammy that he only gave up 4 sacks that year, and one of them was Jahad Campbell.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, and so when I started really digging into the tape, as more and more I watched it, the more and more I liked what I saw. I know a lot of people are back and forth on should he be a DE, should he be an outside linebacker, should he have his hand in the ground, should he be a 3 technique, should he be a 4 technique. I know everybody's back and forth on that. From what I seen, he just looks like a football player that can do a lot of different things really, really well. He looks more like a linebacker to me. He's got great back and forth speed. He doesn't shy away from contact. He runs. He doesn't run like a football player, if that makes any sense. He's real fluid when he runs.
He's quick.
He's really quick.
He's quick.
And he's a really willing and good tackler. He's one of the things that I noticed about him is that when he's engaged with offensive linemen, he can get off them. You know, I know a lot of people love Micah Parsons, and it's really hard not to love Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
And you can't not stop, you know, looking at them and comparing them because of that fucking number. I wish those guys that play that position wore a different number because they always like, oh, look 11. Oh, you know who he's like, right? Right? Everybody's not Michael Parsons. And Michael Parsons is great.
Yes.
But the one thing that he has a problem with is if you get your hands on him, it's a wrap for Michael Parsons. If you can get your hands on Michael Parsons, he ain't going nowhere. Like, you can pretty much ragdoll him. I mean, I don't want to compare everybody to Lane Johnson, but I mean, you see what Lane does to Michael Parsons.
Wraps him up.
Yeah,
Runs from him.
Yeah, he don't even want to be near Michael Parsons. Don't even want to be near Lane Johnson.
Sides with him.
Yeah,
From the other side too.
yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm
Mylata too.
yeah. It's the fucking bird, baby.
Yep.
But you talk about Jahad Campbell and everything that you're describing him. Would it be wrong that he reminds you of a TJ Watt type of player? Kind of do it all, can cover, can get through the line. To me, that's the first person that came into my head the way you're talking about this kid.
Absolutely. He's more Watt than he is Parsons because Parsons don't really drop. This kid dropped in coverage a lot. Like, he did everything. There's a position called the Joker where you play end, you play linebacker. Shit, you can play safety out of the Joker position. And he was doing all that in a lot of the games that I played. I don't know if it's just that they were trying to showcase him, but he was pretty much doing it all. And that versatility means you can play anywhere in the league for a long time if you can do that. Obviously, the elephant in the room is where's he going to play because of Nakobe Dean. Obviously, Zach has got his spot already.
Zach got paid.
Zach got paid, so Zach got his spot already.
Yeah.
So where's he going to play? Obviously, that's yet to be seen. We don't know. But from what I could tell, you know, he doesn't look like an end to me. He looks like a linebacker. He looks like a really good linebacker. So I'm hoping that that's where you develop some. The only thing that I saw that I didn't really like was sometimes when big linemen engage with him, he shies away from it a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And what I mean by that is draws, screens, counters. You're not facing those kind of guys when you play Tennessee in college. You know, you might face one, like I said, like at LSU. You face them guys every week in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, when that trap comes or that counter comes or that screen comes and, you know,
Offensive lineman, right?
Landon Dickerson is on your ass, you know what I mean? Or somebody like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you got to really, be able to buck up and do it. That's the only real glaring weakness that I've seen is that when they're coming at him, he's okay initiating the contact. But when they're trying to initiate the contact with him, he kind of was like, not that he didn't want it, but he had a little trouble with it. You know what I mean? He's 235, so maybe he'll get bigger. I'm assuming he'll get bigger. So that's the one thing that I saw. But other than that, for me, as a grade, I give the grade like a B+. Still yet to be seen. I don't know if you guys have watched any tape on him or not, but what did you think initially when you saw the pick?
I was a little surprised that, moving up, unless Howie knew something that we didn't, that he wasn't going to make it another 2 picks. He did have that shoulder injury, but I think, being that we have those guys in Zach Bond and Kobe Dean, Vic Fangio's kind of going to do what he did with Cooper DeJean, let him learn, then introduce him. And like you said, there's nothing better than depth. I do like the pick. I'm surprised again that Howie in the first round did what he never does and took a linebacker. But I think he's going to play well.
Only one skill position guy into the whole draft. And I don't even call a quarterback a skill position guy, he's just a quarterback. But yeah.
I think he's gonna do well. I like his size. Pause.
Yeah, that was crazy, but go ahead.
No, I do think he might be a better downhill player, a run stuffer, and you need that in this league.
I did see him do that a lot.
I see. That's where I was gonna get.
Yeah.
I think he's very good on the blitz too, man. I seen some of them. He comes in fast, you know. But his tackling is there. I like the tackle. The tackling is very well for him.
I didn't see him miss a whole lot of tackles.
Nah, and that's the biggest thing, you know. I don't like watching football, man, and not seeing guys be able to tackle, you know. It's the biggest
almost
thing.
cost us a Super Bowl.
It did. But you know, talking to one of my Alabama fans, you know, he said he liked the pick. I like the pick a lot. Just Howie, man, he just threw me under, you know, a linebacker, taking a linebacker, man. But I really like the pick, and I'm excited to see how he works out. I mean, with Nakobe Dean having injuries, you know, all we can do is just wait and find out. But he is quick, 4.52 in the combine, you know. So, hey, listen, I hope he learns and he plays really well, and you know, for everybody, stay healthy.
Yeah,
that's it.
So
That's
the thing with the draft is I'd say the first 3 or 4 picks. You're drafting a starter.
Yeah.
Like you should be drafting a starter with the first. I mean, anything else you get is gravy, but you should be drafting a starter. So at some point, you know, it can be harsh, but hey, at some point, if you're not starting in your first round pick, and we've had a couple.
Oh yeah.
You're a bust to me because we're investing in you. We're, you know, either you're a bust or our scouting department fucked up.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not talking about this pick specifically.
No,
I'm just saying in general for any team. If your first round pick does not start, you know, somebody messed up. You know what I mean? It has cost guys jobs when they don't. You know what I mean? So again, to me, I give it a B+. I think he has the potential to be, you know, borderline all pro. I hate to put that on him like that, but he has all of the tools to do it. Whether he's going to have the opportunity to do it, is a different story. So that's Jai Campbell. So that was the first pick. The second pick was Andrew Makumba, and I actually watched. You know, only time I've ever seen him or paid attention to him, he had an interception. And that was
that the chance?
That was the chance.
Yep.
I mean, the ball was thrown right to him. He should have picked it up. But, you know, he's a baller and, you know, he was in that position for a reason. So, I didn't review the tape. I didn't go do the deep dive. That would be on you, sir, Big J.A.
You know, I smile when I hear the name because he does remind me of CJGJ. A little bit of a knucklehead, got some loose screws up there.
Oh, that's great for it. It's bad.
Welcome to Philly.
We talked about that rah-rah that you need. I think even though CJ left in that same position, we have 2 of those guys now being Andrew Makumba and Sidney Brown.
Shout out to Sidney Brown. I forgot about Sidney Brown. Yeah. He got a little couple of screws loose too.
But 4.45 and the 40. To me, that's what you want to see in a safety. Be back there, protect the middle. I think for having a small stature, I believe he's 5'11". Not your typical football height. But I do think he's going to hit hard just like CJ did. And I don't think we're going to, once he gets into a groove, if he gets that starting role, we're not going to miss CJ as much. And that pains me to say.
I was waiting for it.
I was waiting for it too.
That pains me to say. I mean, you know, we had him. We made that Super Bowl run. Didn't work out the way we wanted to. Walked away. You know, we were missing that link on defense. Bring him back.
Came back home, though.
And
yeah, he did.
and we got the
He
job
can't
done.
come back for a 3.
Oh,
I think it's a wrap for us.
no, yeah, I think he's ran his course. But shout out CJ. He I believe he was a 4-year starter. Started off at Clemson. He won Rookie of the Year there.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
He then for his final year transferred over to Texas, and obviously you guys mentioned it, the pick in the in that game there.
Yeah, I think that from what I can see from him, he does look like a baller, and at the end of the day, that's what you want. You just want a baller. So there's another guy on here that's a baller too. There's 2 other guys on here that are ballers too. One of them I didn't have the honor of looking at him. One of them I did, but yeah, like you said.
I think Vic Fangio had a lot of influence on this draft. I didn't get to watch a ton of tape, but just looking at the guys that we're bringing on.
Come on, man. The first 3.
And
yeah, I was about to say, what makes you think Vic Fangio had
first 3 were on defense?
But I think he likes a certain type of player, and I think that's what they're going after. I mean, look at what our defense did last year.
I agree.
Wherever the ball was thrown, you were getting ganged up on.
True that. Yeah,
it wasn't just one person by themselves.
And I think Mukuba fits that. He's, I think, smaller guy, but a hard hitter. And how many forced fumbles did we have last year?
Yeah.
Touchdowns, everything.
I think he's going to bring that intensity that we're looking for. And he's going to be a rookie, but I definitely do think a couple years down the line, he might be the guy that's the leader on the defense. I am a little worried, though, because he's a hothead. And, that
welcome to Philly.
You got to be able to, keep your composure. I mean, we'll go back to CJ in that Redskins game. Him getting ejected, a bigger part in us losing that game than Jalen Hurts coming out because they had no answer for us on offense.
Yeah. There's a flip side to that coin, though, when you talk about high-heads, though, because, CJ was a high-head, but he was a baller. But who coming out, they also said was a high-head was Jalen Carter, and we see how that worked out. So,
He has his moments. Yeah. He has his moments, but he's good. He's good.
Yeah, he does have his moments.
He's a dog.
But I like him. I think he's going to be a ball hawk. I really do.
Man, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah?
You throw that ball over the middle, and it's not placed where it's supposed to be. I definitely see him having a good career with INTs.
Okay.
His eyes.
It's crazy you say that. It's crazy you say that.
His eyes track the ball well. I think that's what everybody was seeing from him. A lot of praise with that. And we'll see where it goes.
Well, he went the second round for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the craziest part. He's a ball hawk, man.
Yeah.
And he can hit, man. For 5'11", he can hit.
Yeah.
Listen.
That's what I noticed. I noticed he can hit.
Yeah, he can hit. And he gets right back up, too.
But, the draft, you never know how it's going to go. Some teams, and the Eagles were one of those teams in the past where they drafted for need instead of drafting for talent. And guys like this can drop to the second round. I mean, Jahad Campbell almost made it to the second round, and he's definitely a first-round guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, in full disclosure, guys, we're obviously reviewing all of the picks, but all these guys ain't going to make the team.
No.
I mean, it has happened, but
I think we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Yeah.
And to add to you, Joey, I watched some of his film too. And it is crazy to say because, I'm always shouting out Joey's boy, CJGJ, But honestly, when we had him the first year when he came over and he had all those interceptions, it kind of, his film kind of reminded me of that, Coming across the middle, there he is, I think he's going to play out really well. Learn something from Sidney Brown, hopefully, I don't know. Sidney Brown's temper flared up a little bit last year too against Dallas, but
A little bit.
Nah, I think we're gonna find out if he's gonna be a dog or not. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
The job is there for the taking, and I think
Exactly.
he's got a good shot.
That's the key.
Yep.
The job is there for the taking. Who in that locker room wants it is yet to be determined, but a guy that is near and dear to us said something when he was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. They asked him at his press conference, said, "What are you here to do?" I said, "I'm here to take a grown man's job." So that's what you got to do when you got to have that mindset. Clearly worked out for him. So, we'll see if it works out for Mr. Makuba. Our next pick is someone who I actually did watch some film on, and I came away saying, damn, I should have reviewed this guy because he's like my kind of guy. And not to mention he has an amazing last name. So with the fourth pick number 111, the Birds take Mr. Ty Robinson, interior defensive lineman, and Mr. Sammy from Nebraska. You had the honors.
Yeah, man. Big player. I think he's going to be really, really good if he can work out right next to Jalen Carter, rotating in and out. He's pretty quick, for a 6'5", 288 guy. Big boy, big defensive
He's a big
player.
guy.
He ran a 4.83 at the combine. He was a 4-star recruit in high school. He had offers from all over the place: Alabama, Oregon, Stanford, USC. He picked Nebraska.
That's odd, but go ahead.
It is really odd. I seen that, and I was very confused. But
It worked out.
yep, exactly.
Not to cut you off, but that 4.83 was the fastest time by a lineman in the draft.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That dude's huge, and he ran a 4.8. Wow. Continue, my man.
Wow. He had 6 years in college.
Oh, he was on a super senior plan.
Super senior plan. He redshirted in 2019.
Oh, okay.
But really, the year that really stands out, there's really 2 years. 2023, honorable mention, all Big Ten Conference. He was kind of, had a few tackles, only had 1 sack, that year. But then he turned it around, man. His in 2024, third team all Big Ten Conference. Started 13 games, ended up with 7 sacks. And 7 sacks, that led the team in sacks.
Wow.
He's a dog, man. He's a dog. His arm length, 32 1/4.
Yeah, he's
32 1/4. Man.
What's his height again?
He's 6'5", 288.
And he's 288.
288.
I think he's going to slim down some.
I think so.
I really don't want him to. I mean, if you think about it, 288, like, for interior defensive lineman, like, not unless you're, Aaron Donald or, Jalen Carter, like, depends on what kind of, like, lineman you want. I mean, I'd probably say 270 is probably, like, a sweet spot for him. But at 6'5", he ain't going to get but so small. Yeah, I mean, he ain't going to be 230 or 240.
He's going to add some muscle.
Yeah,
Shed some fat, add some muscle.
Once he witnesses, the Saquon squat show and
I'm not lying.
yeah. But yeah, go ahead, continue.
He in the first 5 seasons, he appeared in 47 games. He totaled 97 tackles, 14 for being a loss, 5 sacks, which, in his film, he was getting double teamed a lot.
Yeah, I did watch a little bit.
He was getting double teamed a lot.
Yeah.
With a nickname, the Vanilla Gorilla. I mean,
Yeah.
they got their eyes on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not lying. I've been waiting for this the whole time. Let me tell you, this boy played fullback 8 times.
In Nebraska?
In Nebraska, right? The team scored 7 times out of the 8.
I like that.
Oh, yeah. He played fullback. I mean, look at him. 6'5", 288. He was a big boy.
Yeah,
Still is,
if I see him in, the whole pause, if I see him in the whole, I'm turning the other way too. Like,
Yeah, I'm shying away.
yeah,
I mean, think about that. You put him at, I'm just thinking out of the box. Put him at fullback. You got A.J. Dillon. Shout out to him. Yeah, that's a pickup. And Saquon behind him. I mean, who's going to stop that? I'm sorry.
We were using the fullback quite a bit last year.
Did you see that? I know you seen that last year.
Yeah. See, I didn't know. I'm glad you said that because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And
I've been waiting for that.
yeah, clearly you were. I didn't know that. And when we were talking, we haven't had a chance to talk since. America's most vilified play has been granted another year, a stay of execution, which is the tush push. So I noticed. Yeah,
Push on, man.
I mean, it's crazy. We could do an entire podcast on that. So
Wait, we really can't wait
Yeah.
for that Green Bay game.
But yeah, right. But I was saying to myself, like, okay, well, if you guys decide we can't use it anymore, well, maybe we can just implement some more of the fullback. Shit, looks like we got one right there. If we get 1 yard, I can't see anybody stopping us from 1 yard. But
that's all we need. And the other thing I seen on film, he's very, very quick with his feet. Right, getting into the neutral zone really quick. Really, it's just and just tossing people. Have you seen that boy could toss some people? He's been pancaking some offensive linemen. Usually offensive linemen do it to, defensive tackles and everything like that. But
no doubt.
He was a dog at Nebraska. I really like the pick. He has to just work on his lateral movement, I would say. Watching the film on that. He got beat a few times, just getting pushed back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, I like it, man.
Yeah,
I like it. I think he could be a dog, man.
I did see a few things. If he gets lined up next to Jalen Carter, he knows how to get skinny, man. And
6'5", 290, almost 290. Knows how to get skinny.
Knows how to get skinny.
Wow.
Get in between those guards and get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's huge. When you have your interior lineman able to take some pressure off your outside guys and get to that quarterback.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of film, and the film that I did watch, I can't remember which game it was. And I just noticed how nimble he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
was
was
on the run. If you see,
I think it was a run play, and I just saw him get down the line. I was like, "Oh, that's like this guy's really, really good on his feet."
Yeah.
So again, these top 3 picks, you're expecting these guys to play. So
I'm expecting them to make the team.
I'm expecting them to make the team, and I'm expecting them to play.
Yeah,
so, and
sure.
there is a need, in the interior.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that is the reason why he was drafted.
We got 4 dogs now. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Jordan Davis, Ojomo, Carter, and now Robinson.
We might as well just start having mini camps down there in Athens. Might as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a great one, brother. I definitely am looking forward to seeing him blossom into a really good player. I think I don't really like the term steal that much, but he might be a steal. Because the one thing I've noticed or I've learned over my years of knowing people who played in the NFL and knowing people that are in front offices or whatever the case may be, sometimes you always want to give or you always want to say, oh, this is this guy's job. He does this for a living. He has to know more than I know about this. But let me tell you, sometimes they don't. And sometimes they make some horrible mistakes. Shout out to the Giants for giving us Saquon. So sometimes, I always tell people, I tell my kids all the time, like, smartest person in the room is a person who knows he's not the smartest person in the room. And a lot of times these guys in these rooms, oh my God, we're going to get to a segment toward the end where we can vent against the rest of the NFC. But I will say one thing, and this is the problem with the Cowboys. They think they have the smartest person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And in almost 30 years, they haven't.
Shout out to Jerry Jones.
Shout out to Jerry Jones. So anyway, good job, my guy.
Thank you, man.
Good job. So
He better play fullback. That's all I gotta say.
you got to give him a number. What's his number?
Shoot him in the 90s somewhere.
Can linemen wear low numbers?
I think.
No, I think
No, I
they're
don't know.
restricted. I think they're
No, I think they're restricted. To be honest with you, yeah.
They adjusted the numbers, added more numbers, but I don't think they can wear lower numbers.
Damn.
Well, he can't go 90 because Jordan Davis got that. Carter got what, 98?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the Birds are going to do.
Give him 95.
Was there ever, who's 95?
Is there? I don't know.
No, I'm saying, like, did we ever have, like, a really good 95? You remember? Michael Kendricks. Good pull, Joey. Michael Kendricks. I forgot about that. What did Chris Long wear? Remember where you were?
7.
I don't remember.
Was it
I don't remember.
75?
That was Vinny Curry.
That was Vinny Curry.
Curry, that's-
All right, well, we'll get back to that.
Whatever,
We'll
yeah.
get back to that. Yeah. The reason why I asked that is because, you know.
What would you grade that pick?
Oh, would I grade that pick? I'd probably give that a B+, too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think that I don't always agree drafting for need. Clearly, this was a draft for need pick. But with everything that you just told me, some of the things I had no idea about, I mean, it could be a home run. When I say somebody's like a BB+, I'm expecting like, all right, like if you're a solid starter, great. But you might have the opportunity to be something better. You know,
Exactly.
that's what I.
And I think the really good thing about that is he's coming in and he gets to learn from Jalen Carter. Be right next to Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Learn stuff from him. I mean, you already seen it. He's been in the league 2 years now. This is going to be his third.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
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 Yeah. I mean,
So,
you're going to learn from somebody.
yeah. Hey.
9-8 ain't a bad guy to learn from.
Oh,
that's
man.
for sure. Yeah. So, we go to the next pick, which, I'll be honest with you, my favorite pick of the draft.
Hey.
Surprise. Being a DB guy like myself, like, I really liked this pick. Got it from the Jets, pick number 145. His real name is Decarion. Never heard that name before.
Really?
Decarion.
Carry on.
Decarion, a.k.a. Mac McWilliams. Pensacola, Florida. He was 3-year starter, 5th round pick number 145. Little light for me. Like my corner's a little bit bigger, especially at 5'10" range. But
Is it like 185?
yeah,
Something like that.
little light for me. I'm usually
Yeah.
like I'm a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? Everybody's not gonna be Cooper DeJean. What do you think Cooper DeJean is? He's almost like 200. You think, right?
I think so. I think he's like 205, something like that. He's close to it, I think.
NFL had Mac McWilliams at 191.
Really?
Did they?
Huh. Well,
It's only
I'll come
6
back with
rounds
that,
different.
Cooper.
yeah, only 6 round
I gotta
difference.
check that.
You know how it is. The combine has one thing, NFL has another thing. You know what I mean? I spoke to his mom, and she said he was 185. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, but even better. You know what I mean? I don't like him really, really that light. And I'm sure by the time the season starts, he'll be bigger. You know what I mean?
His muscles going to get added.
Yeah, these guys, once they get into them NFL camps, it's a wrap. So, what did the film tell me? The film told me that he can play press coverage, he can play off coverage, he can play zone. I watched, like, once I started watching the film, I really couldn't stop. Like, I was just like, wow, like, like this. It gets to a point when you start watching them, and you might have thought this about Robinson. Like, why does he get picked here?
Yeah.
Like the video sometimes can be deceiving, and you don't. I mean, obviously everybody can't go in the first round, but as I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, like this guy can pretty much do anything. The only thing I saw him do that I didn't like was there were a few times he got beat, and he didn't have trouble with the makeup speed part. He had trouble getting his head around. Like, he'd be right there once he got beat, but you got to get your head around it. I mean, fucking NFL, you really got to get your head around. College, you might be able to get that shit off, but you ain't getting that off in the NFL. So that's the only real thing that I saw that I saw he had a problem with. He's not fast, but he's really, really quick. He gets in and out of his breaks really, really well. He backs pedal really well. He doesn't have a problem tackling. Even the size I saw him, he didn't have a problem tackling. I saw him play against Travis Hunter, and Travis Hunter had his hands full with him. Like, he wasn't, he was there every time. Like, he made the catch, he tackled him, or he knocked the ball down. So I'm like, wow, like this kid, is really good. And again, it got back to me like, well, what am I not seeing, and the reason why he's, taken this late? So the glaring need that the Eagles have is we lost an all-pro corner.
Yeah, man.
I don't think that we're going to realize it. I'm hoping we don't realize it in a bad way. But as much as a person who is not here would always talk about how bad this guy, and that was some of the reasons I would just look at him like, yo, bro. Shout out to Nelson. I don't think you understand how good Darius Slate is.
He played really well.
Nah, bro. Like, you don't like exactly. Like,
he's gonna be missed.
He's gonna be missed, man. Yeah. Like, all pro corners at 30 years old don't fall off trees.
No.
You know what I mean? So
on the plus side of 30.
On the plus side of the 30 at that. So I know this was a need pick. Clearly, all of these were need picks, and Eagles could say what they want about, we just took the best guy available. There was a need for every guy that they took in this draft.
Yeah.
And more times than not, I disagree with that. But when you're the champs, I don't, because I think you're just filling in holes at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. Were you going to draft a wide receiver in the first round? Of course you weren't. So they act like if the wide receiver was there at the 31st pick, oh, yeah, we're going to take the best pick. No, of course they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's all bullshit and lies.
We're not Kansas City.
No, we're not Kansas City. Shout out to Kansas City. 40-22. Shout out to Kansas City. R.I.P. Anyway.
I agree with this.
Yeah, so to me, he was the best. He was the favorite guy, my favorite guy I had to review. I liked a lot of the film on him. Some of the things that I didn't like was, again, I told you he played against Travis Hunter. I saw him play against a few other guys. They were smaller guys. When I watched him play against a couple of bigger receivers, he had trouble. And,
does he play slot? Or does he play?
He plays outside.
Outside?
Yeah. He might play slot, but most of the video I saw of him, he was playing outside.
Okay.
He was lined up against the Y on the left-hand side. And he played press man against the smaller guys and didn't have a problem coming back. But when there were a couple bigger guys that were on him, they were just throwing the ball over his head. And to his credit, he would knock the ball out. But again, these are college guys. In the NFL, that ball goes over your head and A.J. Brown catches it. Guess what? It's getting caught.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Justin Jefferson catches it. It's getting caught. So that's one of the only real glaring weaknesses I had. He's another can't get his head around guy really well either. He had a little bit of trouble in the second break. So what does that mean? So, guy lines up, he's running a sluggo, or, he's running a crossing route where he dips out, at the 10 to come across the middle. He's on you on the first one. If anything changes and in any direction changed, he was a little lost. So that's what the video showed me. As far as a grade for this pick, I give it a B. I think he has a chance to be really, really good, and none of it has to do with his frame. It all has to do with, can we coach this guy up to do what we need him to do? And sometimes it works. Look at Zach Bond. Sometimes it does work. You can coach a guy up and get him to where he needs to be. But sometimes it doesn't work. It's just not in him. But I give the pick a B. I really liked watching the film on him. I think he's going to really be really good. I don't know if he's going to be a starter. I don't know if he's going to, fuck around. He might not even make the team. But he looked the part to me.
Okay. I think that's where we're going to miss a guy like Slay. You got a young cornerback group now. Quinyon Mitchell plays like a vet, but, I'm sure there's some things that he still needs to learn as well. And that's where that veteran presence.
Don't talk about my son like that, please. I would appreciate it if you leave my son's name out your mouth. Nah, go ahead.
I have something good for him now.
Okay.
But we'll see, man. The future's bright, and, I do think the job is Keely Ringo's to lose.
Shout out to Ringo.
I do like Keely Ringo. Granted, a couple guys in his way, Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell. But we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
I agree. But like you said, Derek, this pick was for a reason. Now, reason to take a starting job, fight for a starting job, Yeah, we got Ringo, but like Joey said, we got a young defensive corner. He's 23? This kid, Mac? 23 years old, I think he has potential. Especially losing Isaiah Rodgers. Isaiah Rodgers was not big.
No, he wasn't. No, he
wasn't. He really wasn't that big. He was really quick, I think this kid, Mac McWilliams, I think he still ran a 4.43. Not terrible.
No. Oh, no. Nobody
but,
is
I think, it's just we're going to see. We're going to let it play out.
Yeah, like I said, he's right on the borderline of, when you're picking here, you're like, I need this guy to be something for me.
Yeah, and you look at it, they took him. Maybe there was other better corners. Maybe there wasn't. But let's back up last year real quick to, Quinyon Mitchell, your son.
Absolutely.
Right? Everybody was, go get Kool-Aid from Alabama. Go get Kool-Aid.
I think you said that, actually.
I think I did. But that's also because I didn't do my research. And then, Quinyon from
Toledo.
Toledo, yeah. So, hey, shout out to Quinyon.
In the same breath, Alabama wanted him, and he stuck to his guns and stayed with the team that wanted him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He, Alabama wanted Quinyon Mitchell. He wanted to stay where he was at, and but this pick right here has a reason behind it, and all we can do is sit and wait and see how he does.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, right now, we're gonna take not a break, but we have a special segment that I'm going to throw out there to you guys that I didn't tell you about. So we have draft. We're at, what's this? What pick is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Fifth round. Okay. So
I think I don't know, Joe. I think Joey.
No, it's fifth round. Yeah, because we had a bunch of fifth round picks. Yep. Yeah, we had like 30 of them. So anyway, so I'm on the mindset of the Eagles have always had a better second round than they've had a first round. The list of second round picks that the Eagles have ever had that turned out to be amazing is incredible. Right?
Shout out our quarterback, Jay Hurts.
I mean,
yep.
As such, in the past 25 years, I'm going to give you guys 2 of the best second round picks that they've had. I had 3, but I kind of narrowed it down. I just dumped the other one out. The other one was D-Jags. So the 2 that I have for you, and this is called One's Gotta Go. Now, this is going to be hard for you, I know. So, in the second round, go up to the podium, and the Eagles select Mr. Zach Ertz. All-time Eagle legend at this point.
That's my guy.
Zach Ertz. I didn't even realize this. Zach Ertz is, at the end of this year, he'll have the 7th most yards by a tight end in NFL history.
Wow. We're talking about who?
Zach Ertz.
Was it? I think, Joey, don't you have something for that?
Got that man's jersey, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's going to
Super
be
Bowl jersey.
gonna be,
Super Bowl game-leading catch.
yes, right?
That's Joey's boy, right?
I know it's Joey's boy.
That's why I had to go to
That's-
it real quick.
That's one of the reasons why I brought this up.
I am kind of scared of the other guys you didn't mention, though.
Now, I didn't put current guys in this. So, we're talking the Landon Dickersons, the Jay Hurts and all that. We're not talking about those guys.
JJ, I think.
We damn sure ain't talking about them. But if you ever get a chance to look at their second round picks, it's been amazing. The second guy just had his jersey retired by the Eagles. One, Mr. LaShawn Shady McCoy. 10,000 yards, 15,000 combined, borderline Hall of Famer. 17th rushing leader of all time. So, as I said, this game is one's got to go. If you can start your Eagles history and neither one of these guys have ever played for them, who would it be? I know it's a tough one because that's why I said I had 3, but D-Jax doesn't compare to either one of them. D-Jax was great, but he doesn't compare to either one of these two guys. So I'm going to save you for last because I know this is going to be hard for you. Big J.A. Sammy, you can have your Eagles history and your team, and one of these guys never played for the Eagles. Who would it be?
Never played.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
I'm going to give you a second to percolate on it. That's why I threw it out there. I didn't want to tell you because I knew it would fuck your heads up.
That's for damn sure it did.
I might have to stand up and think for this one.
I'm telling you, boy. I know. It took me a minute, but
I'd have to go Zach Ertz.
Whoa! I didn't see that coming.
Man, I was back and forth on it. But, Zach Ertz, he was a dog for the Eagles. And he did amazing things, amazing catches, everything.
Mr. Catch and Fall.
Yeah, man. But
Yeah,
when you sit here and think about what Shady actually did for the Eagles, yes, he didn't win a Super Bowl, right? But
that's why I thought this was going to be hard because of that. Because you get a grace period because of the Super Bowl. But go ahead.
But a 17th in all time rushing. I mean, yes, Zach Ertz did have the all time catching, pass catches of the season, right?
Yeah,
of
yeah.
100
for a tight end, I think he still has
for
a
a tight end,
Yeah.
for the record. But man, Shady was different, man. Shady was different, and I don't have too much because I didn't even want to make the pick, but LaShawn McCoy, he was a.
So you're keeping Shady.
I'm keeping Shady and Zach. You know what really ticks me off right now is Zach Ertz on the damn Commanders.
Yeah.
With a really decent, I gotta say good quarterback, man.
Yeah.
And but I'm happy he's still catching and running and scoring them damn touchdowns for him. I mean, he almost led the Commanders in receiving yards last year. But
that is true.
I'm sorry, man. I can't.
So you keeping Shady's 25?
And I had Shady's jersey. That was probably one of my. I think that was like number 2 jersey when I was growing up. Number 2 or number 3.
Wow.
I'm not a huge jersey person, but that's I've loved watching Shady growing up, man. Loved it. I was mad that he went to Buffalo too. But what do you think? Or is it,
it's on. I'm gonna tell you what I think, but I'm letting my man over here percolate.
That's why I'm still talking, because Joey's sweating at this point because he's not sure.
It's hard, talk yourself out of it or talk yourself into it, whichever one.
No, I think I have my answer.
Okay.
I'm keeping Zach Ertz.
Oh, there's a shock.
It's tough. I mean, you bring the first Super Bowl to Philly. You're always going to be loved. But you have to look at a lot of different things. Love Shady, Mr. Cut on Dime. One of my favorite Eagles all time as well. But we didn't have a complete full team. And then when we started to have that complete team, Mr. Chip Kelly decided to rip that from us.
This is true.
Yeah.
But with that being said, if I'm not mistaken, trading Shady was kind of what led to us getting these picks to then go and make this Super Bowl run.
The first one.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
So, with that being said, something that every Eagles fan was starved of, was brought home, and Zach Ertz was a big part of that. I don't even think his touchdown catch was the biggest catch of that game. That fourth.
It wasn't. I don't think it was either.
Was it 4th and 1? And he just gets over that first down marker, and then we go down and score. But
the crossing route.
Yeah,
with,
in the middle.
Yeah, when he slapped hands with what's his name? I don't know if you never.
Was it
Torrey Smith?
I believe he slapped hands with.
No, that was Aguilar.
Oh, Aguilar.
Yeah, he ran across him. He slapped hands. Yeah, that play. Yeah, you're right. That play was bigger than the touchdown.
Biggest,
he smacked bricks out of his hand.
I mean, it wasn't bigger than the Philly special, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
His biggest play. Yeah. Okay.
And I love them both, but to me, who knows what happens? We keep Shady. My heart just can't. I can't get away from Zach.
I love it. I'm not mad at you, bro. I get it. Me personally, and I'm gonna tell you why I lean Shady. And the reason why I lean Shady is, and everything you said about Zach Ertz is 100% correct. I feel as though he didn't have the opportunity. I think the opportunity was taken from him.
Absolutely.
And not only taken from him, taken from that team. That team that team was good.
Chip Kelly really blew it up.
Yeah, that team was good. I loved watching that team. One of my favorite Eagles teams before they broke them up. They were really good. They had pretty much everything. The defense wasn't great, but offensively,
They were explosive.
They were really, really explosive. Yeah, Macklin, D-Jax. Yeah, that team was crazy. They still had
Jason.
They still had Selleck. Yeah,
Brett Selleck.
Yeah,
Michael Vick.
Jeez, man. So to me, that's the reason why I lean it. And there's another reason why I lean it too. So if you go back and you look at the drafts, what if I tell you they could have had both of them in a different way and not have Zach Ertz? So I looked at the draft that Shady was drafted at. So when I came up with this, I said, all right, well, if they didn't have these guys, well, then who would they take? Nobody was there in Shady's draft. Like, he literally was the best running back in that draft. Clearly, he's on borderline Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Take a look at that draft with Zach Ertz. They take Zach Ertz. Ironically, next pick is Darius Slay. 15 picks later, one Mr. Travis Kelce. So I'm sure.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure they could have had him in a different way. Just not Ertz and McCoy. They could have had Kelce and McCoy.
Me off, man.
Yeah. That 2013 draft was a pretty good draft, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah. I was looking, I was like, damn. They could have had Travis Kelce And part of the problem is, though, I mean, I don't know, that we were so screwed up at quarterback at that point. We didn't know if Mike was going to be there. I mean, we didn't really know. But Foles was still there, though, right? 2012, was Foles still there? I'm not wrong.
I think he.
Yeah.
No, I think he was, and then he got traded.
He was backing up.
Yeah.
Was he back?
I think he was.
Yeah, I think he was. We'll have our staff look into this later if he was, but I'm pretty sure he was. But yeah, I saw that.
No, it wasn't Mike Sanchez.
Oh, that was it wasn't. It wasn't Mark.
Fumble,
It wasn't Mark Sanchez. But yeah,
Nah.
that was fun. I just, I need to get a towel. We're gonna take a quick break. I need to get a towel for Joey because he was
Man, he was, man.
Honestly, we don't have to make that choice because they both stayed. And ironically, even though he didn't do anything, they both got rings. So
Yeah, and listen,
Shady's got a couple, though.
couple. Yeah. So we didn't, we get the best of both worlds. They never have to leave, but we will revisit this again.
all right.
So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back.
All right.
And like that, we're back. We're gonna go on with our next pick. Pick number 161, I believe it was.
Yes, 61.
Another Georgia Bulldog. I don't know when the Eagles are going to have a chance to have an alternate jersey that's red and black, but at this point, they just might. We are all over the place on his name. Smail. I don't know what his name is. Last name is Munden, linebacker from Georgia. And Joey, the floor is yours.
Yes, Smile Mondin Jr. If you hear this, sorry about the pronunciation. Linebacker out of Georgia. Ironically enough, was born in Georgia, Dallas, Georgia. Took him 161. Was that one of our own? I don't know if that was one of our own picks.
From the Houston Texans.
The Texans. I couldn't remember if that was from the Broncos or the Texans. But 6'2", 224. He ran a 4.58, so not bad for a linebacker.
Not bad at all.
But with that being said, I do not think he's going to play the linebacker position if he does make the team.
Really? Plot twist. What do you got?
We're a little light on the defensive end.
That's true.
And with the class of linebackers that you got, and adding Jahad Campbell, I could definitely see Vic Fangio using him as an edge guy. In 2022, he led the team with 76 tackles. So, definitely knows how to wrap the guy up and protect that edge a little bit. Second team All SEC in 2023 with 68 tackles and 3 sacks.
What year was that? Was that last year or the year before?
2023.
2023? Okay.
He was a 5-star recruit in high school. Top 30 overall prospect in the nation. So definitely some high praise there coming out of high school. Landed in a good organization with Georgia Bulldogs.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, SEC says it all, but go ahead, continue. Yeah.
Definitely some good players. 4 seasons at Georgia, 51 games, 32 starts. Like I said, he led the team in 2022 with 76 tackles. He did miss 2 games due to injury, but since then, it seems like it hasn't really messed with him much. He did have another leg injury last year. He missed 4 games. Stress fracture in his foot. The linebacker picks with Howie they're interesting, to say the least. To me, he's not very fond of linebackers, so that's where I think Vic Fangio is kind of in his ear. We need to get more guys in the middle there. He
outside, the last linebacker. I don't remember even the last decent. I'm not talking like great But when was the last? Michael Kendricks, was that the last decent linebacker that they drafted? I mean, you could count Kobe Dean, I guess, but
Yeah, because we didn't draft Jordan Hicks, right?
I don't think so. No.
I mean, he whiffed on, what was his name first? Marcus Smith, was it? Complete total bust?
Oh, yeah. That
was a while back.
Yeah.
Big dude. 225 sounds like a solid size for a linebacker. Again, another guy who's gonna fly to the football, make sure we're getting a tackle and not creating extra yardage for the opposing offenses.
You said 225?
225, yeah.
Once he starts working out, he's gonna put on.
Shout out to my boy Paul, who I don't want to put his business in the street, but last week he sent me a voicemail message at 5 a.m. Told me he just picked up. I don't want to put the other guy's business in the street either because he drives an Uber. He picked up an Eagles linebacker coming out of some girl's crib, and he said when he saw him. He was a lot smaller than he looked. So, that's all I'll say about that. But go ahead, continue, Joey.
They had him marked down as a little undersized. But to me, if you can make a tackle, the size really doesn't matter.
Completely agree.
I do, the back-to-back injuries in back-to-back years has me a little worried.
Man, what's going on with these injuries? Didn't we just get a linebacker from Georgia too? The Kobe Dean
is a little worrisome, but depth is key, and I do think he's going to play more edge than he will linebacker.
Yeah, that or special teams maybe. That's what I was thinking, especially with the tackle part of it.
Is very important. I don't know if he played any special teams.
I don't think so.
No. He kind of, it's almost the opposite of Zach Bond. Zach Bond is very instinctive, at least that what we seen last year.
Mm-hmm.
He plays more reactive. So even though he did run a 4.5, he might be a little bit slower getting to the ball just because he's not picking up exactly where the play is going to end up.
Gotcha.
But last year had 3.5 tackles for loss with 3 sacks. Again, he missed 4 games, but still missing 4 games, almost 60 tackles, 57 tackles in 10 games. So not a bad number at all.
I watched this, man. If you don't mind, I watched some highlight film on a stump play. It was Georgia versus Texas.
Okay.
Right. Stump play. The QB for Texas, he was in shotgun. Stump play, Milton comes around. 5 seconds it took him to get to the QB for a sack. He was very, very quick coming around the edge. I really think they could use him as an edge.
Mm-hmm.
Even a QB spy. He's very, very, he sees something, he's there. He's also a downhill
kind of guy?
Yes. Downhill kind of guy. Hard hitter.
But that's where it hurts him instinctively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he can make the wrong move and
just wants to go.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is not bad.
Nah.
But that could cost you over the middle.
That sounds more like a situational kind of guy.
Definitely can play both the pass and the run. He definitely did that in Georgia. Wasn't much time that he was off the field, obviously outside of injury.
Right. Yeah. I actually think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the coaching thing. I think that's what happened with Dean. Because remember, he really couldn't get on the field very much. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like, oh, God, this is Nakobe Dean. I think he was a lot like that. I think he overran shit all the time. I mean, I watched a lot of him in the preseason, and it just seemed like he was out he was just in the right place. And then this year, it seemed like something clicked. And again, these guys are rookies. So, what are you expecting from them? There's a big difference. Although I think the drop off from Toledo to the NFL is different than the drop off from Georgia to the NFL. So I think that these guys have a lot to learn, but I think there's a place for instinctiveness where you get lost, and there's also a place for being able to break down and make plays too. So, that could be just coaching up thing, so we won't know.
Other than that, I mean, he's going to be one of those guys that I think that's going to be on the bubble. They did sign him to a contract.
Okay.
They did.
4-year, approximately around $4.5 million.
They see something they like then, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely going to be a hard room to crack with the guys that that he has in front of him. So I definitely think, moving him to play a couple different positions, whether it's weak side linebacker or on the edge there.
Yeah, we're talking probably, like you said, probably special teamer realm at that point. You know what I mean? So
that's what I was thinking, just because of the tackling aspect of it and being quick, and he's a downhill guy. So,
that, he'll be, I could see him in their blitz package as well. He's downhill and he's downhill fast and hard. But, sometimes you got to be able to think, and you got to be able to recognize where that ball's going.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at Zach Bond in the Super Bowl.
That catch.
His weight was going one way, and he, saw the ball was coming back to his other side and took that leap and ended up with an interception.
Never seen a story like Zach Bond. Just sidebar, like, it still amazes me.
It still is.
like I hope Vic finds another person like that, but man.
But, we've seen a lot of bad linebacker play.
Shush.
Being Eagles fans.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
We're definitely blessed.
We over here holding on to Jordan Hicks. That's how bad it's been.
Man, I'll tell you what, on a little side note, I was happy as hell he re-signed Zach Bond. I was so nervous. I mean, nervous, but not nervous, because, I think it was TJ Edwards that went to Chicago.
Yes.
He had an amazing year for the Eagles a few years ago, and then we let him walk, man. So,
but we did.
But, it's going to be an interesting fit. He definitely had a lot of success man coverage-wise. I know that's something that we've seen more of compared to past defensive coordinators. But we'll see what happens, and hopefully, if he does make it on the field as a linebacker, he adds to that group, and we have another year of successful defense.
Absolutely, I agree. Did you watch any? Did you see any of his film or anything?
Of his film?
Mm-hmm.
Just a few.
Few.
Like I said, he's very very quick, man. Very quick, and it's how can you put it? It's like it's a running start. It's like a defensive end, but he's just very quick. I really think because he's a downhill player, he could be very, very good. Like I said, QB spy, but screens, coming down on the screens, halfback screens. I think he has a chance. Well, obviously, we gave him a contract, so there's something. There's something that somebody sees.
I see him filling the shoes of, if I'm not mistaken, Oren Burks.
Yes.
Also left in free agency. Forgot to mention Oren Burks.
He stepped in huge when the Kobe went down.
Yeah, man.
But,
he laid the boomstick
on that boomstick in the Green Bay Packers game.
That's a wild card game. Yeah. First play of the game.
So I could see him, if they're plugging and playing, I could see him filling their shoes.
Yeah, because at this point in the draft, you're looking for the Oren Burks replacement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You want guys that are going to come in and look here. I don't know if you're going to be able to start, or I don't even know if you're going to play. But if some shit happens, I need you to be serviceable and not make any glaring mistakes. So at this point in the draft, that's pretty much what you're looking for. Good job, Joey. Next pick, one of the Eagles' own picks. Drew Kendall, center from Boston College, pick number 168. Sam, you got the honors.
Man, I really like this guy. Really like him. 6'4", 308. Not on the taller side. You know, all of the Eagles' offensive linemen are all
Monsters. Yeah.
5'05", 40 yard. He was not the fastest, but he was fast, you know. And it really goes, he was rated a 4-star recruit and number 1 recruit in mass by all 3 recruiting services.
Okay.
Rated number 5 offensive guard in the nation and 76 best prospect nationally in any position.
Is this in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming into college.
In any position?
Any position.
Oh, okay.
Another red shirt in 2021. But
how's this guy? 30? How old is he?
23.
23? Oh, it's not
23.
bad.
No.
It's not bad.
2024, first team all ACC. Started all 13 games and center. So it was 22 to 24. He played in every single game at center.
Okay.
He allowed just 5 pressures on 350 dropbacks with, I'm pretty sure, I got to check again, but I'm pretty sure it was for pass, not run.
Gotcha.
Kind of good. He gets a lot of his athleticism from his father. His father played in the pros.
His daddy. Who is daddy? You got his name? It's okay if you don't. Clearly, if he was great, I would know his daddy's name.
I think it was Pete Kendall.
Pete Kendall. All right.
He was
Yes,
he was. He was actually a first-round pick.
Okay. Yeah.
And first-round pick, draft number 21 pick in 1996.
Yeah. That sounds familiar. Okay.
He spent 13 seasons in the league, playing a total of 189 games, which he started 188 of them. Went from Seattle to Arizona to the Jets to Washington.
Wow.
The biggest thing for me, I think he's just below like average size. And his power. It's there, but it's not.
Gotcha.
I think a little bit of work, you know. So hopefully, you know, the coaching. Gotta love
coaching.
So I think the good thing is though is that he's very athletic. I watched a lot of the film. The running part, you know, very good in the run game. Getting out to the outside on, you know, even on a few of them, there was a halfback counter going to the left side. He was able to swing out, pop one guy, get to the next guy. It kind of reminded me of Kelsey. I know it's a hard comparison because this guy's, you know, he's going to be a rookie.
Blasphemous, but go ahead.
Yeah. Pretty much, you know. But I don't know. He's a very good run blocker. Very good run blocker.
Okay.
So.
And again, at this point in the draft, you're looking for diamonds in the rough. You're looking for, I mean, nobody thought Kelsey was going to be Kelsey when he was drafted there. You know what I mean? He was a 6th-round pick. So
yeah, he was.
You know, nobody thought that. But, you know, at this point in the draft, you're looking for diamonds in the rough. So.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes.
I didn't get a chance to watch too much of Mr. Drew Kendall. If I would have known Pete Kendall was his daddy, maybe I would have. But no, I didn't get a chance to watch too much of him. But again, what we're looking for at this point in the draft is we're looking for diamonds in the rough. We're looking for guys that may be able to help. And if you strike gold, so be it. If not, it's 5th-round pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I think somebody's going to be helping him out. I think, you know, who played center for us? Jerrigan's, right? this past year. So, he has somebody to look up to and learn off of that. But hey, if he can show that he could do it, that's a backup center to Jerrigan's,
Well, apparently, the guys in the mini camps on the offensive line have been doing well.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've got a soundbite from Mr. Jordan Mailata who will explain what he saw.
I love our rookies. This is a great rookie class, especially now linemen. They work hard. And I told Miles, I told Cameron, and I told Drew, I said, I don't care if you come for my job. If you're better than me, you're going to be better than me. But I'm going to make it damn hard for you to reach that. But I'm going to bring you along. I'm not going to kick you down. I said, that's not how it runs here. It's not how we do it. I bring you along because you're going to make me better. And boy, that boy is pushing me. Both. All three of them. Drew doesn't even play tackle. I watch him run drills. I'm like.
So apparently, Mr. Mailata thinks Drew is damn good. And if he thinks that, then we'll wait and see. But apparently, he must be showing something in minicamp to get that kind of praise from an all-pro tackle.
Yeah.
So good job.
Is he one of those guys that I know he played center, but does he fill in those shoes at right guard? Who knows? What's the size again?
He is 6 something.
What did you say? 6'4"?
6'4". Yep, 6'4", 308. Arm length 31 and a quarter.
Damn, he's protected as
Wingspan's
6'4".
77 and a half.
Big ass center.
Yeah.
You might be on to something here. Yeah, they could flip him.
I don't know.
Yeah, the film doesn't say that.
We got somebody else up in.
Okay, all right. Well,
but yes, I do agree with Joey. There is a potential with flipping him.
Let's be honest, Cam Jurgens isn't going to go anywhere.
No.
Nah.
But why not train him as to be his backup center? And if you have to use him as guard, make sure that they can play both.
Yeah. I mean, it happens all the time. Guys move all the time on the line. You know what I mean? So being cross-trained as one or the other ain't going to hurt you. You know what I mean? Because it's a tough position to play. I don't know if they don't get the glory, and they don't. It's not glaring when you see it, but there are people at your knees all the time when you're playing the offensive line, and those guys can go out, at the drop of a dime. Obviously I don't want that to happen, but you need backups, and you need good backups at every position.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, the next pick was pick 181 we got from the Chargers, Mr. Kyle McCord, quarterback from Syracuse. Another local boy. Apparently, someone told me I know his daddy, but I don't know his daddy. He went to Rutgers, I guess around the same time I was in high school or something like that. And he was a quarterback at Rutgers. I watched some film on Kyle McCord, and the film that I watched, I saw some amazing throws. I'll put it to you like this. I saw some throws that NFL quarterbacks couldn't make when I watched some of the film. I'd say out of 10 throws, I saw 4 that NFL quarterbacks couldn't make. And then I saw 6 that if he threw them in the NFL, they were all going back to the house. I mean, this guy loves throwing across his body. I'm like, yeah, that's just getting picked, bro. You thought that shit in NFL. But he's got all the measurables. He's 6'3", 220, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's got all that. He looks the part of a quarterback. Again, he looks strong. He doesn't look like he's overwhelmed, and he also doesn't look like he's afraid of anything. And sometimes that can be a bad thing when you're a quarterback. Sometimes you have to pull yourself back a little bit what I did like about him is like when I saw him get blitzed, he moved really good. Like he bounced around the pocket really well. He had good, his feet moved really, really well. He throws a really good deep ball. Pause. He throws a really, really good one. That throw I was telling you about, the deep out, I saw him throw several of those, and they were all on time, all money. So again, why are we drafting Kyle McCord? We're drafting Kyle McCord because Kenny Pickett left? Like, we don't expect this guy to be anything for us other than a backup if we're lucky. You know what I mean? And I don't know what Tanner McKee's like contract is. Like, I don't know much longer he's going to be there, but
Shout out to Nelson. That's all he kept saying.
What did he say about Tanner McKee?
Oh my gosh.
I must have missed this.
Man.
Enlighten me.
He wanted McKee in so bad. He would not give Kenny 2 gloves, an opportunity.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do kind of remember that. Yeah.
And he was just bashing Kenny. Put McKee in. He can roll out the pocket. He can do this. I mean, McKee can, right? But man, give Kenny Pickett some.
Yeah, give Kenny some love. Well, I mean, what? So Tanner's a number 2 now, right?
Yeah.
So we traded
no
for the backup.
That's right.
Cleveland. I can't remember his name.
Thompson something. His name's long. He was from. I'm gonna do the research.
Yeah, do the research. I'll figure it out. Okay, so let me get back to my boy Kyle McCord. And a couple of the other things that I didn't really like is him throwing. He threw in traffic a lot, and that kind of like worried me a little bit. Again, I'm not sure what you're getting as far as, what's he, 6th-round pick? Like, I'm not really sure what you're getting. But if you're looking for a practice squad guy, if you're looking for somebody that might be your 3rd quarterback, this is your guy. He didn't really impress me that much from what I've seen. He looked okay. Again, when they're casting the movie for a quarterback, this is your guy. He looks like a quarterback. But other than that, I saw more minuses than I saw pluses.
I see practice squad guy.
Yeah, I see a practice squad guy. Again, at this point in the draft is what you're looking for.
You're picking names out of a hat.
Yeah. Again, if his dad went to Rutgers and, he's from, I don't know, Mount Laurel or something like that, trust me. I know quite a few of these guys, and there's a favor for a favor that were done probably. It was like, hey, man, let's take McCord's kid. You know what I mean? It happens more than you would think. Yeah. So maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure. I mean, he did go to Syracuse. I mean, it wasn't like he was a bum, but I don't really know what you're getting with Kyle McCord. So
yeah, the Eagles, they're gonna have somebody fighting for the 2nd spot. The Eagles actually traded Kenny Pickett.
That's right.
To Cleveland. For another Robinson, man.
What was it? Dorial? Was it him?
Yeah, Dorian Thompson.
Dorian Thompson Robinson. Yeah. Why I ain't know that? We're not related, but yeah.
So yeah, that's who end day 2025 5th-round pick. So that means
shout out to Kenny Two Gloves and the 6-man quarterback room they got going on in Cleveland right now.
Yeah,
I ain't kidding.
What they're doing.
Yeah, I'm sure Kenny was like, I thought this was my chance to shine. I ordered 17 pairs of gloves.
He did shine. You know why?
Why?
Because he won a damn Super Bowl.
Yeah, he got a ring.
Dak Prescott didn't.
Yeah, he got a ring. Well, that's needless to say.
Shout out to my Dallas fans.
We're going to get to that at the end. But yeah, so that was.
I watched a little bit of film on him. Yeah, and like you said, he had good deep balls, but he kept throwing across his body, and I was just waiting for him to learn. I mean, he really didn't. If you throw him in the NFL and like you're just it's not gonna work.
Hey, it might be good defensive practice for our guys.
Right. Yeah. I was watching film and it was getting so bad. Like I was running across the television. I was just like, this, like, yo, just give me the rock.
Yeah.
I was like, well, okay. But yeah, but again, what do you expect with a 6th round pick? So, moving on, our next pick is from the Broncos, pick number 191, Mr. Miles Hilton. Joey, the floor is yours, my man.
Oh man, this guy is massive. Pause. Standing at 6'7", 323 pounds.
Damn.
He Michigan boy. Actually has some NFL lineage in his family as well. His father, Chris Hinton,
Colt. Father, I think he played for the Colts. I think. Well, yeah, I'm listening.
Fourth overall pick in the 1983 NFL draft. 7-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
And he has a brother in the league, Christopher Hinton Jr. He plays for the Chargers.
Yep.
So definitely, to me, that's good experience to have. You got somebody you can rely on. Granted, being a late round pick, you're not sure what your future is going to be. But to be able to have those talks with your father and kind of have him guide you while you're going through mini camp and training camp and things like that. You normally see a guy who's 6'7". He might not move the best. This guy's athletic. Played both left and right tackle, so that's huge depth wise. For a team like us, Lane's still, if not the best right tackle in the league, one of the best, and he's only going to get older, so you definitely need some depth there to give him some protection in case, God forbid, any injuries happen or anything like that.
And I think that when you're talking offensive linemen, I think this goes back to the other pick as well with Drew Kendall. I think this is where you find those guys that you can bring along and replace because, running backs and wide receivers are a different kind of breed, but I think you can. I mean, look, we got an undrafted guy who's an all-pro. You can find, you can find guys late
in the rough, man.
Yeah, you can find them. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
You watch some of his tape, and he's another guy who, the footwork to me as an offensive lineman is very important. He's got great footwork, and he can get to the second level pretty quickly for being a bigger guy.
Okay.
Normally they're setting that first block, and your guards and your centers are getting to that second level, but I mean. Look at Jason Peters. How many times did we see him get to the second level and just absolutely demolish a cornerback?
True. Yeah.
With guys like that, if he does end up making the field, it's huge.
Yeah.
The more space you give Saquon to run, the better. His arm length is 34 1/8, so that's what. Almost 8 foot wingspan. I mean, you're gonna.
I still don't know why draft analysis guys they love talking about arm length. Like, I don't get me wrong. I think that it is useful and it's a useful tool. But like when you're talking now, 34 is different. Like, she got some fucking long ass arms. But sometimes they get into the minutia like, this guy's 32 and a half, and I don't think he's gonna be able to play, but. Obviously,
it's almost probably close to 8 foot,
and that's some different shit right there. Like now, I would mention
7 foot tall.
Yeah, that would. I mean, he's a huge guy. Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
So that's gonna play a big part getting your hands inside of the edge rusher and just bullying them. I will be surprised he does make the team, but you put a guy of that stature in Jeff Stoutland's hands, you could have another Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
Just waiting to get his chance to shine. He redshirted in 2020. He did play 4 games as a reserve. He was at Stanford for a couple of years. Played 12 games with 9 starts at right tackle. And in 2022 started 7 games. Then in 2024, honorable mention, all Big Ten Conference. Started 10 games at left tackle. Missed 2 midseason games. He had an injury. I'm excited to see what he can do. There's not many people you get that come into the league with a build and
I mean, this is a big guy.
Physicality like
he's a big dude.
He's just gonna bully people around.
Yeah.
He won the national championship in 2023, right? With Michigan.
That's right, Michigan. Yeah,
because he.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
I did forgot about that too.
He's a big dude, man.
Huh.
Another guy he's probably gonna be more successful in the run game, just to use that size and explosiveness to get into that second level.
Gotcha.
But we're hopeful with these later draft picks and that they can, make a name for themselves. I would love to see it. I mean, the last thing I want to see is another, what was his name? Andre Villanueva that we let go. He went to the Steelers and had a hell of a career.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the Birds, they might learn their lesson. You know what I mean?
I hope so. I mean, if they turn Jordan Mailata into what he is now, I can only imagine with what Stoutland could do with a guy who has some NFL experience and size like that.
Yeah, no doubt. You had a chance to take a look at any of them? No?
Here and there. I remember watching him in the national championship, and
I ain't mean to put you on the spot because I haven't. So go ahead.
Yeah. He's actually really, really good with the run game. Really good with the run game. Pass blocking, he's very quick with his feet, especially being 6'7", able to get back.
These guys are huge.
It's insane. It's insane. But I just, like I said, I remember watching him national championship, and he didn't give up a sack. He didn't really give up a pressure in the national championship, which is kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
Because who did Michigan face in the national championship? That was Ohio.
No, it wasn't Ohio State.
I don't know. Whatever.
You are supposed to be our college football guru. You don't remember what they played?
I can't
remember.
It's not coming to my head.
Yeah. Staff, get on that. Find out.
Please.
Get on that. But anyway, go ahead, continue.
But yeah, so and it's kind of crazy because we're gonna get to the next draft pick, but
we got the next draft pick right now. If you want to,
it's just offensive tackle. Yeah. Offensive tackle. Why did they draft 2 offensive tackles back to back?
Yeah. Clearly there was a need.
There is.
I'm guessing by your tone, you think they're drafting 2 guys replacements or backups? You think replacements? I'm assuming.
I would say.
That doesn't mean they're replacing them right now. But
I would definitely say for replacements.
Yeah. Okay.
They have the potential for it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Because the Eagles are known for that.
Especially with Stoutland, man.
Yeah. The Birds are known for that. They are known for getting, if it's, obviously I don't want to, turn this into, a Stroke 'em Howie festival. Pause. But, the one thing that they do probably better than anything else is doing that.
Yeah.
They make sure that they get the guys earlier rather than later.
Exactly.
And, the last thing you want is to have, what if we didn't get Jason Kelsey's backup 3 years ago when we did? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
they always think
there's no bowl. I'm sorry.
No.
Without that interior line, there's no Super Bowl. Like, you need those guys. So if that's what you're leaning towards as far as replacement, I have no problem with it, And clearly that seems like with the two picks they had back to back, that's what they did.
Michigan beat the Washington Huskies.
Huskies, who shouldn't have been in that game.
No.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Easy to forget.
See? That's
Thanks.
why I forgot.
That's why you forgot. Yeah. I don't even think the game was that. Was the game close? I don't remember.
But,
I don't think so.
Hinton, they're going to have to work on his pass blocking.
Mm-hmm.
They're very reactive. Doesn't get his hands up where they need to be.
Yeah,
He's better on run.
That
more.
Could be because his arms are long.
That punch, you get a good DN like a Micah Parsons, a TJ Watt that punches, say he's in there, it's gonna beat him.
Got you. Okay. Well, we come to our last and final pick. Pick number 207
from the Jets.
We got from the Jets. Mr. Cameron Williams, another offensive tackle from Texas. I'm before we get there, I'm looking through the teams that they got guys from. And I know we mentioned Quignon and the Toledo thing, but they really do stick to, elite college programs when they draft guys. I mean, outside of my boy Durarion McWilliams from I'm sorry, bro. If you ever hear this, my bad. You know what I mean? My bad. Outside of that, they pretty much stick to like
They know their schools.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's a big program.
I mean, everybody does. Everybody, pretty much,
Well, you're in those big programs for a reason.
Yeah, they start with the SEC, and then they work their way down to the rest of everybody else. But anyway, so yeah, we got our boy here, Cameron Williams, offensive tackle from Texas.
Yeah, man.
Sammy, the floor is yours, my man.
Man, another big offensive tackle, 6'6", 317.
Wow.
And
huge.
I had to because I seen the stat, and I don't know if anybody's ever measured their hand. Like for me, I also go off of how big offensive tackle, any offensive linemen really are, because they're protecting the QBs, and you look at the QBs, there's really not QBs that are the same height as offensive tackles, offensive linemen.
True.
This guy's hand size is 11 3/8. Now, to measure your hand, this is from your pinky to your thumb. Mine's only 9, right? 11 3/8 is insane. They said
that's a big hand.
Yeah.
I have big hands.
I know it's a little weird and a little off topic, but hey, it's crazy. Crazy to even think. He didn't participate in the physical part of the combine. He had right knee soreness, so he didn't participate. He only played 3 years in Texas. Played in 13 games as a reserve and on special teams in 2022. Played in 9 games with 1 start at right tackle in 2023. And then he started all 15 games in 2024. He was actually Texas named finalist for the Joe Moore Award, nation's top offensive lineman.
This year?
Tackle. Yep, this year. Now, I don't know how accurate this stat is, but 5 sacks allowed out of 975 offensive snaps. I don't know if it's dropbacks or not, but only allowed 5 sacks. Very massive frame. I mean, just like the last offensive tackle.
Seems to be a theme.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The Monstars.
He's very effective on frontside kickouts to strike. Very, very good with that. I watched some of his film. I don't know, man. 2 massive offensive tackles.
You seem like you like this guy. Do you like him?
I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he has a potential. I don't want to say it to take Lane Johnson's spot, but the film that I watched, he very good.
You can't say it like that though. You have to say like to, potentially be Lane Johnson's retirement replacement. That's how you gotta say, because he ain't taking Lane's spot.
No, they're not taking Lane's spot. But the biggest thing is that, here we go back to the coaching. Look at Jeff Stoughton. I mean, look at Mekhi Becton. He was a first-round pick, I think, and he didn't really play good for the Jets. He comes to the Eagles, and he was great last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, if all these guys, they have potential. The kid's only 21 years old, He's very young. So, and, I mean, as an offensive tackle, to either learn from Mailata or from Lane Johnson, I mean, why wouldn't you want to learn from them?
Absolutely.
Especially as the height for Miles Hilton and Cameron Williams. They're both right there with Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
Just as a top offensive lineman in the nation, this past year, I don't know.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was sandbagging a little bit because I told you who my favorite pick was.
Yeah.
But I watched this guy, and I liked what I saw. The film showed, it just like jumped out that nobody was getting by him. Like I probably watched too much of it, but I watched the same national championship semifinal. And I'm like, yeah, they can't touch this guy. So as I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't know what evaluators see that we don't see, but when I'm watching, I'm like, why is this guy not like a top pick? Again, you mentioned he gets the award for being the top interior lineman in the country. But everything I saw from him, not unless it's an injury thing, I mean, everybody can't go in the first round, but he just looked good to me when I watched him.
Yeah.
I only watched one game, but when I watched it, like he looked good to me. You know what I mean? And he's a big guy, has all the measurables. Again, no other podcasts out there are going to be mentioning Jeff Stoutland as much as we've mentioned Jeff Stoutland today.
Yeah.
But
the man deserves his flowers.
He does deserve his flowers, and there's a reason why. And if he can, learn from, arguably the best offensive line coach in the NFL, I don't even say arguably, I think he is. I mean, he just does things that other people just don't do. And he's been doing it for quite some time. If he can learn from him, hey, so be it. Maybe we get, another, gem. And even if we don't see the fruits from it, sometimes these guys turn into other things. And what I mean by that is, hey, I got this guy in camp that's killing it, but we just had somebody go down. Flip him to something else. I don't know. I mean, it has happened before. Obviously, like you said, you are of the opinion that these guys are our tackle, could possibly be our tackle replacements. Yeah. And I'm okay with that, especially at this part in the draft.
Yeah,
Again,
I was watching film, man. And I probably watched a little bit more film than what you did, but pancaking, guys, is another.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just the body weight. His wingspan, by the time you get to him, here we go back to the wingspan, but his 84 and a half, that's 7 foot.
You love long hands and long arms?
Here we go.
Nah, go ahead. I'm gonna play with you.
Nah, it's just, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what, if they do get a shot, maybe. I'm hoping not for injury-wise.
Yeah. Not no time soon.
No.
Yeah.
But, hey, listen, I'm very surprised he wasn't taken sooner, but
yeah.
I agree with pretty much everything you guys said. The only downfall, and I didn't watch a ton of tape, they did struggle with a bit of a bull rush, getting his feet planted.
He got set back.
But I think something like that, it can be taught. It's footwork.
Yeah,
that's your offensive lineman's job, is to make sure your feet are under you. So hopefully, it does pan out that way, and who knows? This could have been the steal of the draft in the future.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you guys have said. And I think that is, at this point in the draft, that is exactly what you're hoping for. You are hoping for, hey, man, we got this guy in the 6th round. You know, he's a center. He could be, something. And then in 15 years, he's Jason Kelsey. You never know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that was amazing, guys. We did a great deep dive on the draft. I learned an awful lot about a lot of these guys that I didn't get a chance to even watch. This was amazing. So we're going to take one final short break, and then we're going to wrap this up with our thoughts about each one of us will have a fan base that we can talk to for 5 minutes. We can pick whichever one you want. You know what? Fuck it. I'm picking who I want to talk to. When we come back, you guys are going to have to figure out who's going to talk to the Giants fans, who's going to talk to the Cowboys fans. But I might have to turn the camera back on because I need to talk to the Commanders fans because y'all was really something over this past year and really feeling yourself. So when we get back, I'm talking to y'all. And we're back. I just want to tell you guys that this was so much fun. It was amazing. This will be the start of many, I'm sure, because it worked out exactly how I wanted it to work out and how it should have worked out when Joey decided to do this 3 years ago. But thank you, because, we do this all the time when nobody's watching, when nobody's listening. And the conversations are pretty much always like this. We enjoy the birds. We enjoy football. I am sure that, at some point, this flag will probably be moved. These jerseys will probably come down, and there might be a Wheeler and a Real Muto or a Harper jersey up here, and it will switch to something else. That's, that would be ideal as well. Or there'll be no jerseys up here, and we could talk about whatever you want to talk about. But this was great. We got a chance to deep dive on the Birds draft, recap a large part of their season because we weren't together for the Super Bowl. I shed some tears, but I lived through you guys because I saw the videos, and the best ones are always have to do with some guy yelling, screaming and cursing. That's right. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Wants to 30-0. He wants it to be 72-0.
Shout out Nelson.
Shout out Nelson. But yeah, this was great. So
thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And thank you. This was great.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, this was great.
Jokes turned into reality.
Yeah.
Grateful to be here.
Absolutely. And with that, we're gonna wrap the pod up. We're gonna really wrap the rest of the 2024 season up. But we're gonna look a little forward, and we're gonna talk to a couple of our friends, the rest of the NFC East. We're just gonna take a couple minutes and talk to you guys about how it feels to win a Super Bowl. I'm going to let Sammy go first. He's going to talk to our brethren up North Jersey, up 995.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Giants, man. Let's talk about it. Man, listen. First I want to know who the hell is going to start at QB for you guys. You guys decided to get Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson.
Hustle and bustle.
Yeah, and then you weren't happy with both of them, so now you had to go into the draft and take Jackson Dart, which Jackson Dart got his head taken off in college by Campbell, just a little.
Yeah, he did.
That hit was insane. But Abdul Carter, Thibodeau, but listen, you may do good, but you won't beat the Eagles. I'm sorry. I'm putting that right there. And still trying to figure out what wide receivers to throw to still. I mean, I know you got Malik Neighbors, but that's about it. But
full disclosure, Malik is good. Just don't know.
Malik is a dog.
Just don't know who's gonna.
Yeah,
throw
who else?
the ball.
I mean, who else you got over there? I mean, Darius Slayton. I think he's still there. I mean,
Neighbors gonna spend some time locked up in Guantanamo Bay. So
You already know.
yeah, I like
You
that.
already know.
I like that. But good luck, and I know you guys are gonna get your ass whooped. So have fun, and let me know when you make it back to the playoffs.
Shout out to Joe Shane as well for giving us one of the greatest running backs in NFL history.
Amen. Thank you.
Shout out
Thank you.
for helping us get that very shiny trophy down 95 South. Shout out to the Giants. Thank you, Sammy.
No problem, man.
Joey, you're going to talk to our brethren that live here who have never been to Texas, who love that star on America's quote-unquote team, the Dallas Cowboys.
to all you Dallas fans, some of my family included, it's been 30 years. That's longer than I've been on this earth since you guys seen a title.
Shout out to the Motorola Razr. I think that was the phone that was out back then, the Motorola Razr, and Blockbuster was popping. But go ahead.
30 years?
30
I wasn't even born.
years.
Yeah, been a minute.
Here's to another 30.
Yeah.
Because the boys in green ain't going nowhere anytime soon. CeeDee Lamb, you can run, but you can't hide. Guantanamo Bay, Cooper DeJean, no matter where you want to line up.
I'm locked up, don't let me out.
And we're not going to let you out. Dakota, keep trying your hardest, man. You're never going to be good enough.
Man, used your government name, bro.
Oh, I can't wait. Week 1.
Week 1.
You guys are going to be witnessing a banner being raised. It's going to rise up into the rafters. Something
Absolutely.
you guys haven't seen in 30 years. If you want to watch it again, I'm sure we can locate a VHS player for you.
Just so happens I have one.
So
Any Cowboys fan.
anytime you want to swing on by, we'll pull up some tape for you because you're not going to see another championship anytime soon. Shout out to Jerry Jones and his wonderful, wonderful draft. As long as he's driving the ship, you guys are in trouble.
They call them we them boys, right?
We them boys. Yes, yes.
And one thing they had today, CeeDee Lamb, Quinyon Mitchell's right on him, right? They think they're going to be something now with this other wide receiver that they picked up.
They do.
Who, George? I can't get away from nobody Pickens.
Called
yeah, that's right.
Head case.
Yeah, that's right. They got Pickens. That's right. I forgot about that. I don't think it's gonna matter, but I forgot about
The
that.
head case, man. It's a
Yeah.
head case. Hey, listen, he joins the perfect team.
Yeah, that's for sure. Shout out to the Cowboys. Great job, Joey. I don't have much to say to them. Again, you said it all. I mean, it's been 1996 is the last time you've been to an NFC Championship game. Dion was still playing. I don't even think anybody in your team other than Dakota, love that name, Dakota, other than Dakota was even born during that time. You get what you get. You guys have been utter failures for close to 3 decades. So thanks. You make it a lot easier when you are so terribly run. But yeah, thanks, Joey.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Oh, shout out to my family who's Cowboys fans too. I still don't get it. Like, it's whatever. Like, you live in Brixton. Fuck you, Cowboys fan. I don't get it.
And just get ready to go 0-1.
Yeah. I mean, Cyborg, that has gotta hurt, bro.
That has to hurt.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh. Oh my gosh. Can
They
you
haven't seen you
imagine?
30 years, and now if they come to Philly.
That's your
Rivals.
2024, 2025 Super Bowl champion
Oh, my
Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, man, you're going to see Dakota doing his little dance, sideline, trying to do his thing. But, yeah.
Oh, man, we can go on and on.
Yeah,
about
we
that,
just keep
too.
going about that. Well, we're going to wrap.
So who you got, man? You got the
Oh,
last one?
I got our guys down the other end of 95 South, the Washington Commanders. You guys were really, really good last year. You drafted an amazing young quarterback. I really respect the fact that you went out and were able to find him, and he got you guys to the NFC Championship game. But you guys have been fucking terrible for a very long time. And I cannot believe how much you are really feeling yourself. It's almost like the past 25 years haven't happened at all. You play in the absolute worst stadium, probably in the league. Like, it is falling apart as we speak. Like, I'm surprised Jaden Daniels isn't hurt just leaving the locker room. Like, I would probably get somebody on that. As far as you guys thinking you were really, really close, and this is where my beef really comes from. You guys were really close to beating us in the NFC Championship game because you beat us in a meaningless game when our quarterback was hurt. That shit wasn't close. I know there were turnovers. I get it. But it was utter domination. And I don't see what you guys see. Like, oh, hasn't been a repeat NFC champion. So I get it. There hasn't been a repeat NFC East winner in I don't know how long.
It's been 22 years, I believe.
Right. I get it. So you think that it's now your time. It's not. The Birds are still locked and loaded with still plenty of young weapons everywhere. Like, I don't see it. We talked about Zach Ertz earlier. We love Zach Ertz. But he ain't getting y'all over the top.
Nah.
Terry McLaurin ain't getting y'all over the top. He's really good. Debo from the Red Cowboys out west. Same thing, man. He plays 9 games a year.
Running back, wide receiver, wherever he wants to go.
He's a name.
Yeah.
And you guys have been picking up old dames since you got 37-year-old Deion Sanders 20 years ago.
Can we look at their linebacker, Bobby Wagner?
I am surprised Bobby Wagner is still in the league.
I am too. I really am.
He was more than serviceable. We got my boy who was personally trying to ban the tush push, Frankie Louvu.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I can't stop it, so I got to try to see if I can ban it. I say all that to say this: the NFC East, fuck it. The NFC still runs through Philadelphia until further notice.
You're goddamn right.
You can do everything. You can try to pick up guys off the scrap heap. You can kind of talk yourself into thinking that you are going to beat the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. But until you do, Broad Street has a banner that's coming, a big-ass one that's already there outside. If any Commanders fans want to drive by, if you're going to a Jelly Roll concert or if you're coming up to see the Nationals and you want to see it, it's right there for you to look at. And you haven't had one of them in a hot minute. So I say all that to say, good luck. We fucking out.